Hey guys, kinggath here, and in this guide we're going to go over tracking. So one of the most common issues when you're dealing with your Conqueror empire is trying to figure out where the heck all of your different guys are and where they're distributed by role or by rank, etc. It can be a challenge to find them because we try to make things as easy as possible to use to where you're not having to worry about that management. But if you're the type of person that likes to do this management, wanted to make sure you had the tools to do so. So we added a bunch of tracking options, and you can see that my Super Mutant Army here currently has quest markers over them. So I'm going to show you how to get those active. So if you go into MCM, and like I always say, anything I show you in MCM is available in the holotape as well. But if you go down to the tracking section, you will find a bunch of these tracking options. Now, I currently have only warriors turned on, but you can turn on any particular type. So it's more than just soldiers here. It actually can track any NPCs that are in an outpost or vassal. So civilians would also grab settlers, for example. Robots would grab any robot at all, not just necessarily robots that are part of your army if you've got a faction pack that has that. And then the ranks, these are based on the rank system, which there is a soldier levels video if you're curious about what the ranks are. Same with the soldier roles video to explain these different roles. So this will grab them by role, and it attempts to do it across your entire empire. Now with these above the rank, these are fairly accurate. You should be able to grab them across your empire without an issue. The ranks are a little more sketchy. And it's just the way part of the game works. There is a system called ref types. I'm not going to get into the technical details, but the ref types are what all these use. It's very accurate. Then these use a system called actor values, which is less accurate. So it often depends on how recently you interacted with these for some reason. So for example, if you recently ran a raid, it's more likely that these will show up correctly. Same thing with special units versus if you actually, special units I think are way more accurate because they use a system called keywords. So all technical mumbo jumbo, but the fact that their ranking is going to be the least accurate tracking. All the rest of this should be pretty darn accurate. And when you have, now I don't have an example to show you on the map because I am just sitting with one settlement right now, but you can see the map markers spread around. If it was covering your whole empire, if you had settlements scattered all over, you would see markers all over the place. You track this in this new quest called Conqueror Soldier Tracking. This will be hidden until you first enable one of these tracking features. So before this, you won't have that quest. And then if we go in, let's go back into mod config here. I want to talk a little bit more about these tracking options here. The personal guards is a special one, and I'm going to enable this here to show you that. But that actually has its own special quest, and if you want to learn more about that, check out the personal guards video. But it's still effectively having that on will do the same thing. But as you can see, it started another little quest there and its own squad tracker. That could end up started in as soon as you add your first personal guard, that will also start that quest. But it is independent of the soldier tracking. But for all intents and purposes, it's the same difference. It's still going to show a marker on the map. So that is why it's in the same tracking setting. So the last thing I want to do is show you guys when we turn off all of these options. It should hide that in our quest menu. So if you don't like having random extra quests, that should go away as soon as you hide these. So let's confirm that. Yeah, so you can see that both of those disappeared there, so they won't just sit forever in your menu if that's something that drives you nuts. Now I think the Sim Settlements original quest, I think it does not work that way, and that's just due to how frequent plots are updating. I think is the reason that I left that on, is that this is just always on. However I did it for Conqueror later, if it's, if I had enough requests for me to find a way to do it for this, I could probably figure it out. But I'm always learning new stuff, so each time I release a new expansion or new mod, it often has a lot of new tricks I've learned, and I don't always have time to go back and do it to all of the previous things I've released. So that should cover the tracking. It's pretty straightforward. Whatever you want to track about your soldiers, whether it be by role or you're looking for a certain rank of soldier, or maybe your goal is you want to bring all of your rank 5 soldiers into the same settlement or something, and you're not sure where they are. That is a way you could do it. And again, the reason I added this is because for the most part, people are operating on their soldiers without individually ever touching them. They're relying on things like the auto assignment code to change their roles based on the plot they're assigned to. They're relying on the raid board for starting up raids to gather their warriors for them. So most people don't need it, but I know there are a lot of you who like to kind of get in your hands dirty and really pay attention to all this stuff, and so I wanted to give you guys that data. So that's where that tracking comes into play. Now, in addition to tracking your soldiers, you might actually want to just summon them to you. And for that, you can actually make use of a tool that was built into the original part of some settlements, if I can find it here. It's called the Town Meeting Gavel. You can craft this at your city planner's desk or at a chemistry station. I believe it's still there in the recipe. And once you activate this thing, it was originally designed to just summon all of your local settlers to you. It would just bring those forward. You can also use this to bring back, and it still has that option. It's called Gather Around here. We also have all these other options, but the one you'd be looking for your soldier management is Gather Around. And it will operate after you close your Pip-Boy, or you can hotkey that and access it from your your favorites menu. So not hotkey, I guess, add it to your favorites. But when you do this in a outpost or vassal, you'll get this follow-up menu. If you use it in just a normal settlement, you won't get a follow-up menu. But you can basically choose to have everybody come, or you can get them by role or rank. Now, this only grabs people in the current outpost you're standing in. So if we went and did this, so let's just go to specific role, and we'll grab our warriors. The fade's supposed to happen before the teleport, but I probably over-optimized something and that made that happen too quickly, but whatever. You guys can get over the emergent hit. I'll add that to my list of little quirks I gotta sort out. But if you're not familiar with this Town Meeting Gavel, after you use it, they will follow you around for about 30 seconds, and that's useful if you want to quickly reassign them. You can actually turn that follow setting off, so if we go into the Sim Settlements section, it is, I don't remember where this has been so long since I've used this. Under usability, maybe? Yep, Town Meeting Style. So you can say, should the settlers follow you or stay put during a meeting? So you can turn that on and off. So it's basically, that should be, instead of Town Meeting Style, it should say follow on and off. So whether or not you want the follow on or off. Now, once they've already started following you, like mine are right now, turning this off has no effect. You have to have done that before you started the town meeting. So Town Meeting, Gather Around will allow you to select by rank or by role, and you can summon all of your local soldiers to you. So this doesn't help with your full empire-wide, but grabbing everybody that's currently in your settlement. One of the things that's beneficial with that is it'll grab those patrols that are probably wandering away where you don't want to have to manually go run over to them. So if you're trying to get access to your patrols, you could literally just call by patrol, have them all come back and handle your reassignments rather than having to chase them down. So valuable tool in managing your empire there.